What's up, everybody? We're very excited about our next guest. He's the host of the Great Parking Comedy Show at the best comedy club near you in Los Angeles, as well as the After School Special Open Mic Comedy Show in Los Angeles. You might have seen him at the Comedy Store. You might have seen him at the Ice House. All around LA, you might have seen him at your 7-Eleven. Who knows if you live in Los Angeles? We got Robby Wagner. What's up, Robby?
What is up, guys? How you guys doing?
Good, Robbie. Good to have you. Thanks for
Yeah,
coming on the show.
yeah. Been
Sounds
looking
like you're a busy guy out there in LA, but you took a little time for the CBR show. And we really appreciate that. I think the thing that everybody wants to know is, why comedy? I mean, like, what was the big thing that drew you into comedy, and how'd you get your start?
It's so well. It's so funny you ask because it's been a long journey. I started off doing theater arts in college. Did a lot of theater. Went to acting conservatory. Moved to LA to do the Groundlings, which is a famous improv sketch comedy group in LA. Some of the best sketch you'll ever see. SNL scouts there all the time. I was there for a couple of years, and then I just veered to do stand up. I wanted to embrace something I feared the most. I was always scared to do stand up, and I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and I fell in love with it. I love the challenge of it. I love that you get your ass kicked, but there's also those parts of redemption where you're just like, ugh, it's just like such a good feeling to kill. But rolling with the punches, it's a really hard career. But I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I flat out love it. It's either you love it or you hate it, and I embrace it. I love it.
So, what would you say? You said that you were doing improv work out
Yeah.
there for a while. What would you say is harder, improv or stand-up comedy?
They are two completely different beasts. I feel like improv has its challenges because it's not just you on stage. Like you have to take care of other people, which can be really hard because you have to rely. You're only as strong as your players, as your teammates on stage. And with stand up, it's all you. So if you bomb, it's really on you. It's on how much you practice.
Yeah.
Uh, finding your rhythm, finding your voice. They're just two completely different beasts, but in the same token, they go hand to hand. Like I think I've progressed faster in stand because of improv, because I am quick on the fly. I'm very good at like pivoting. I'm like, shit, this isn't working. Let's go into this or let's go into that. It does help you, stay light on your feet. You think a lot faster. And that's, a lot of my stand-up buddies, they do improv, and a lot of my improv buddies do stand-up. Again, they go hand in hand. So, yeah.
Your
Do you
first
feel like
show, Go ahead, Bill.
what's that?
I said,
Do
go
you feel
ahead.
like when you first started, you were doing an impression of another comedian you like? Because I thought about getting into comedy, and whenever I run jokes to myself, I feel like I'm always doing somebody else, and that's the real finding your voice part, right? Do you feel like
Yeah.
that when you first started?
Are you talking about stand-up or improv or just in general?
Stand up,
Stand
stand
up, I
up.
do have comedians I look up to. I do love like Bill Burr. I love Dave Chappelle, Whitney Cummings. I love, Mitch Hedberg is like my idol. Rob Williams, and of course you're gonna kind of emulate them. You're gonna see what their styles are. And a lot of the times, sometimes friends will ask me like, I guess notes or feedback sometimes, and I'm just like, just do it a lot. You organically find something in the moment. Whether you're bombing in a mic or you're killing on stage. It's just you have to let it organically happen, and then that's really how you find your voice. You just do it a lot. And of course, I watch stand up. I take notes, but I really just pull from my own experience or like observational humor. That's my style, mixed in with just kind of. I'm really goofy on stage. I get like that's funny you say that. I mean, if I could emulate someone like Rob Williams or Steve Martin, who I just like idolize, great physical actors. Chris Farley was another huge inspiration to me. Like he's the reason I got into improv sketch. And yeah, that's a great question. I do kind of emulate them, but in the same token, stand up helps you really find your voice. You really find yourself in stand up.
Yeah, yeah. Like I was saying, I would imagine at first, and I've heard this by other comedians. You're kind of playing somebody else other than yourself, and then after you do it enough and enough and enough, you start to be yourself, right?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
funny. I think when you first start doing stand up, it's like you're trying to, yeah, like you said, you're trying to emulate or you're trying to be something you're not. But when you're
exactly.
really doing a lot, you kind of find more of yourself in it, as cliche as that might sound. But you do find more of yourself in your comedy, you know? And that's why I'm always like embrace the bomb. Like be okay with the silence in the
Right.
stage.
Probably helps you more
Don't
than killing, right?
yeah.
Sometimes.
You learn way more from failing. That's what I've learned, I guess, in comedy. Like I bombed today, and I was like fine with it. And then I don't know who said it. So I heard it on maybe some other comedian in podcast, but learn to bomb gracefully. That's kind of a big note I've been taking. So just learn, like, have fun with your bombs. Like that's where else can you play? Really, you can play on stand up or improv. Like just go for it. Just bomb, and be okay
Yeah.
with it. So.
So
Listen,
when
I
you had
was
your
at a
first,
fundraiser and Gary Goldman was doing comedy and he was so mad that nobody was listening. Just like every comedian, no matter how big you are, you can bomb tomorrow if you're Jerry Seinfeld. It doesn't
Yeah,
really matter. It's part of
yeah,
the job, right?
yeah. Even the best bomb, it's part of the process.
Do you
Well,
ever
it's like
enjoy a bomb? You ever
what?
just go, this is a great bomb?
Oh
You ever
yeah,
enjoy?
I fully doubled down on my jokes today. They were such bop jokes, but I was like, nope, I'm fucking going for it. I don't care. I'm doing it. That's only how you learn, really, and see if the joke actually works. Yeah, I
so
love bomb.
when you were getting ready to do your first show, right? You decided that's it. I'm gonna try this stand up thing. Did you? I guess you went to like an open mic night, or did you have somebody that gave you some stage time? And then with that, like how much preparation, like what'd you do to prep yourself and get yourself mentally ready to take this big leap, step out on the stage and see what happens? And then last question of this, what did it feel like when you were done? Like how'd it go? And then
Five-parter.
Man,
yeah, when you walked off stage.
there's a two-part answer to this question. Okay, I started off and I was like, man, I only have like 2 or 3 minutes worth of material. I'm gonna go up, right, and it was here in LA we do a lot of slotted open mics, so you sign for like each hour. So I signed up for like the 8 to 9 p.m. slot or whatever, and I went and it was like killer comedians. Like these guys were really good, like doing it for years, and it was like my first open mic, and I just heard crickets. I heard just like silence, and at the time I was just so frustrated. I was so like nervous, and that's what you do. You just gotta eat shit basically, and I did that, and I just all the comedians were just like, man, you're like they went up to each other because they knew each other, like, man, you're great. Oh, you're great. Oh, and like no one even wanted to talk to me, right? And then one comedian, he was like fist bumping one comedian. He's like, you did great. And he looked at me and he was like, he did not want to even fist bump me. Like he didn't even want the stink of unfunny on him, right? That was my first open mic. Like ate shit hard, right?
Yeah.
Years later, we do an open mic, and that same guy who wouldn't fist bump me, I fucking annihilated the mic. So that's
Nice.
another thing I love about, especially open mics. Stand up is the sense of redemption. Like you're gonna go through your slumps. You're gonna be like, God damn, I sucked. Like you're gonna have weeks, maybe even months, where you're just like, you just suck. And then you just have that one show, and just something happens, a
Figure
coin
it
flip.
out.
Yeah, it's just
Right.
I like to Mr. Miyagi myself, if that makes sense. Just like stick to your process, stick to the routine, and it will prevail.
It will happen. Wax on, wax off.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the closest I ever got to doing stand up, and this is not very close at all, is I went to an open mic night to see what it was like, and then I was like, I'm gonna get the courage to sign up when I go in there. Of course, I chickened out. But then I was like, all right, I'm going to watch everybody go, and then I'll sign up for the next one. And I never went back. Just because of that fear of failure. But like talking to you, it just seems like I never thought of it as being part of the process, right? Like I guess I'm in my mind, I was thinking of comedy as like singing, right? Like either you can sing or you can't. But comedy, like listening to you describe it, it sounds like I never thought of it as more of a finding your voice as opposed to like having it from day one. Because some of these guys, you see them and they boast on stage like they knew from the time I had a mic in my hand that I was going to be a comedian, which is probably bullshit, part of the shtick. But like, I just never thought of like owning like the failure is the better part of it, because you want, people want to be successful, you want to be liked, you want to be funny, but at the same time, like, not everybody's going to laugh at stuff, and it might be a killer joke. It might be a really good joke. It just might not fall on deaf ears that night,
Yeah, there's so many different factors. It's like maybe the crowd just isn't feeling you. Maybe you're out of rhythm, your timing's off. I comedians who are great right away, I don't feel like they become heavy hitters later on. Like, I feel like you really have to eat shit early on. Like,
Yeah.
like the more you bomb, the more you know how to get out of these like tricky situations. You get tools early on. I think it's important to bomb. I'm a huge, believer in that. Don't get me wrong. Like, try your best, like, not to bomb, but don't be angry at yourself if you're bombing. Like, you just have to bomb gracefully. You just have to have fun with it. At the end of the day, it's like, God forbid, I will not let anyone take away my fun. As cheesy as that sounds, as long as I'm having, like, I was bombing at my jokes today, but I was just having fun with it, and the comedians were like, "Oh, this guy's just having fun." Like we're not taking it too seriously. Like, we take it seriously, but not too serious.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you just gotta. Oh man, it's just a trust fall at the end of the day, and you're gonna fucking get a concussion. You're gonna break some bones, but man, that makes you tougher later on, though. Like in the
What
game.
doesn't kill me makes me stronger, right?
Exactly.
What has been like? What would you say is kind of like the best highlight of your comedic career so far? Like, what is that one moment that you were like, or a couple moments where you were like, you really felt like one you kind of made it, or felt like a huge success, or two where like somebody said something to you, or the crowd reacted, or whatever. Like, what was that moment or moments like for you so far?
Well, one of my best moments is the first time I performed at the Comedy Store. I did the belly room, which is like the smaller room. So I think it seats like, I don't know, 70, 80 people, something like that.
I've been in
Crowd,
Billy.
and I was nervous, right? I was like a minute or two in, I was doing okay. And something just like a lightning bolt hit me. I was like, Robbie, get out of your head. Just fucking go for it. Just like lose all inhibitions. Went into hyperdrive and just for the next 5 minutes, I just crushed. That was a huge moment for me, especially my first time at the Comedy Store, which is like, this legendary comedy club in LA. I know on the East Coast, it's the Comedy Cellar, which is huge out there. I've been out there. Really, I mean, it's a lot of great comedy clubs, but that was a huge moment for me. And I had a great set Friday. So you just, stay on that grind. It's one of my favorite spots to perform. It's very electric. There's a lot of cool history there. Some of the greats come out of there, like Jim Carrey. Robin Williams got, a lot of stage time there. Richard Pryor do a lot of shows there. Just iconic comedy club. And that was a big moment for me. Or just even like, as weird as it sounds, or doing like an open mic where it's kind of timid at first, where it's like people aren't really feeling you, and then you crush open mic. That's also a good feeling too. So
And I've thought about doing open mics. Is it something at an open mic where people don't even? I'm imagining the audience is all open micers, or no? I need to go to one.
for like
But is it mostly people who are about to perform?
for like a specific open mic.
Like, I would imagine the audience at the open mic is a bunch of comedians that are about to go on. They're nervous. They don't want to laugh. They don't want to laugh at you because you might be funny. That's like, do you find there's a lot of people at open mics that are just there to see comedy, or is it mostly people that are waiting to go on?
It's both. There's a lot of mics actually. They're just waiting to go on. They're not gonna laugh at your shit. Like, you could be like Dave Chappelle status killing up on stage, but they just don't want to laugh at your stuff, or they don't want to get edge. They're probably in their head thinking about their own jokes, and not really being in the moment. That's the thing. I think what I love about my open mic, me and my friend Kevin, we started this mic because we want to get that feeling of a show, even if it is just an open mic. Like, even if you bomb, it's like, yeah, you bomb. Like, just have fun with your bomb. And that's the reason why we started it. And, we book features, starts off of the show, and then we have the open mic, and it carries over into the open mic. So it feels just like one giant show. So even if like open mics, I'm experimenting, but I kind of treat it like a show a lot of the time, because I want to have fun. I want to bring that fun energy. And again, I'm like, God forbid someone take that fun away from me, because it's just like, screw you. Like, I'm me. I'm going to do me at the end of the day. So never let people get into comedy, like, don't let anyone ever take your fun away. There's going to be, especially in
I
LA,
think that's good advice for
some
sure.
are just in the comedy world. People will just like, they'll cut you down. They're just competitive. They're trying to get ahead of you in one way or another.
Yeah.
I've had, comics who are probably jealous of my material. That's why they just give me the cold shoulder. There's so many different reasons, but again, as long as I'm having fun, this is why the Joker is my favorite villain ever, because he will keep laughing. You could tear him down, you could shoot him, you could punch him, you can do whatever the hell you want. He's going to keep laughing harder. That's kind of how I attack comedy. Like, I just laugh harder. I laugh harder at all my misfortunes in life.
Right. Well, it's going to serve you well. Probably, right? I mean, I think anybody that does that would
I hope.
be better off than somebody.
I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'm just, at the end of the day, just doing me. Just you got
Well,
to
it's a
keep.
good attitude, that's for sure.
Yeah, I
Thanks.
saw some of your bits on Instagram, and I told Bill, and I'm not saying this just because we're interviewing you, but you had good stage presence. Like, well, I watched enough comedy that I feel like I can judge when somebody has a good kind of like, I don't know, if not aura, but like a good charisma about them, a good delivery, and you were able to you were hitting on all those, and your jokes were good, and like your cadence was there and everything. So I was like, I told Bill, I was like, I said, this guy looks good on stage. I said, I'm excied that he's, he at least giving us the time of day to talk to us for a podcast. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it looked good, man. It looks funny. Your stuff looks good and looks funny. So, when you get that big Netflix special, just save us some seats in the front row.
Hell yeah. Oh hell yeah! That's where you guys are. Front row tickets. You guys be backstage, whatever you guys want.
Backstage pass.
Oh,
No,
my-
it's Robby.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
No, it just comes with practice, man. It's just repetition. I'm a big sports fan, so I love Kobe Bryant. Actually today's his statue day. But I love that he's like just practice so hard. Where if you're in that clutch moment, you know how to like perform.
Yeah.
So that's me.
Mamba.
Very. I
Are
don't
you
wanna
the
say
Black Mamba of comedy?
What'd you say?
Are you the Black Mamba of comedy? The
I'm
White
the
Mamba.
Yeah, I'm the white mamba. I'm the
White
fat
Mamba.
comedy.
Kobe Bryant, his work ethic was like nobody could touch
Oh, yeah.
Kobe. Like the
Legendary.
stories that you hear, like these guys would get up at like 4 a.m. to go to the gym because they thought that they would be able to outwork Kobe, and he's already done his first set. Like
Yeah.
nobody ever got there before him.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just crazy when you go back and you look at the guy and he looks so talented, and you're like, oh, he's born with it. But then you hear how many hours and how much time he put in. I mean,
Yeah.
it truly shows, and that's what I try to tell my kids. Like, if you want to be good at anything, you got to put in the time, and
Yeah.
it's not always going to be, it's not always going to be easy. Sometimes the hardest times when you feel like you're going to give up is the time when you probably put in way more effort than anybody else, and you might not be seeing the results, but they're going to come. You just got to keep putting it in there.
Yeah.
Sorry, maybe
No,
that'll be like a motivational clip.
No, 'cause Kobe was not great. He was, this young kid, 18-year-old kid going in the NBA, and he's like, figured it out. He was very curious. That's
Yeah.
another. Ask a lot of questions. I'm like, oh, how'd you do that? This joke or the business side of it, or I always like more experienced comics, or just talk jokes. We just talk the experience of comedy, and that makes you stronger too. So it's good. It's like, as much as I say, like, sometimes comedians are cutthroat. There are some that that become family. They become, so close, and we just want to see each other succeed. So it doesn't happen a lot, but when it does happen, it's freaking awesome.
So what are your goals for your comedy career? Where do you want to see yourself in maybe like, a year, 5 years, 10 years down the road?
Man, that's a great question. I mean, obviously, just to make a living off of it, whatever that means, like doing clubs, doing a tour, opening for big comics, just attacking it. I think I'm a firm believer of manifesting. So the more you put out, the more you get. So, and that's what happens. Is like I'll do a lot of these open mics or do a lot of these shows, and you guys, I'm fortunate. You guys hit me up, and I was like, hell yeah, let's do this podcast. Like this is a huge moment for me. I love it. I love talking comedy. To comedy nerds like myself. You just got to really it and just have fun with it.
What wild stories? You got to have some wild stories from the comedy scene. We've interviewed a bunch of musicians, and they always have these crazy stories from the road. Some we've shared, and some we couldn't share. So, like, I can't picture. I picture that comedians are probably worse than musicians, and I say that worse in a good way, right? Like wild, crazy. I mean, comedians are demented individuals at times. A lot of comedy comes from pain, right? Not you, Robby, not you, but a lot of comedy comes from pain.
Are you sure
So
about
I just picture that it's
We're
pretty
not.
wild.
We don't know.
I got a dark sense of humor, but no, yeah, I mean, it's, especially it's just the artists, like I've seen a lot of comedians who are self-destructive, like We'll
Yeah.
go on stage just blackout drunk, not even making sense. Not me specifically. Like I've done a few sets where I'm drunk. Like I don't get like wild and crazy, but I have done like a few sets drunk and I've killed it. But I don't want to like rely on alcohol or
Yeah.
drugs because it's just it just spiral out of control. I don't know. I've seen it's hard. Especially in the LA scene. I've seen so many people. It's just their careers die from drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Serious, but but
Yeah.
it's true. You see a lot of these. I think my goal is like as much as love doing open mics. Maybe 5 to 10 years from now, I don't want to be stuck in the open mic scene. Like I want to tour. I want to maybe have some specials, Netflix, Amazon, whatever, HBO, whatever
Yeah.
specials, maybe TV and stuff. But that's a goal. The goal is to like that's my gym. The open mic scene. But I really want to I want to make something of myself. I want to make a career out of it. So, but
How
I'm
about the
still on that.
road? You want to go on the road?
I would love to go on the road. I love traveling. I'm very
Where have you done like where have you been besides LA? Have you done any little tours or anything?
no. I've done mainly LA, but I've done like the Central Coast. I'm from the Bay Area originally, so I'm starting to do stuff like in like the Bay Area, like Oakland or San Francisco. I'm trying to get to San Diego. Like I'm really trying to explore because California is huge. It's just there's so many spots in LA, but that's another goal is just to book shows maybe in Vegas or New York or Boston or wherever have you. So I'm just trying to build up, I guess my Instagram, my reels, and I'd love to go on the road. So
Well, this is going to springboard you to superstar. You'll have a residency in Las Vegas pretty soon.
yeah, oh God, I would love that. Yeah, I have a lot of good Las Vegas bits too. So
There you go. Yeah, the adult diapers.
yeah,
Yes.
yes, yep, exactly.
I can totally relate with that. That's one thing that we talk about at the firehouse all the time is like guys joke around about just wearing diapers during sporting events and various things like, oh, I don't want to have to get up and go to the bathroom and go into the Ravens game, so I'll just wear a diaper.
Oh, yeah, football games for sure. For sure, I would need an adult diaper. If I'm drinking, adult diaper, but I would saturate that thing, you know?
Yeah. It needs a release valve so you can like let a little out here and there.
Throw it to the ground?
How
Yeah.
people like guys like go that they piss. I don't know if you guys ever piss in like that trough or whatever.
I hate
I
the
would
trough. I hate the trough. I'm not a trough fan.
dick. You're like, whoa, cool. Like
I was
no,
hoping you could get closer to me.
yeah, right. Hey, nice dick. Want to be friends? Like that's usually the starter. But I don't know why this just guys changing their diapers at like halftime like that. Really.
The adult diaper changing station.
Yeah, it's just giant tables.
If there was an adult diaper I could rely on, if the commercial was specifically like 4Ps we can support in this diaper.
Yeah.
I've done grosser, let's be honest. I've
Yeah.
done grosser things. You know what I mean?
Look, back to this
There's
whole
nothing
trough thing.
We've all been there.
Let's get back to the trough.
Yeah, look, I don't understand. Like, why is it socially acceptable for everyone to pull their dicks out when you're standing up against essentially a metal trough? But if
Yeah.
you do it anywhere else, you're going to
Like
jail.
Starbucks.
Go to jail. This is bullshit.
Sorry, I thought you saw the trough. You know?
My trough. I'm
Had
just
to
kidding.
pee.
Where's my goddamn trough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you a 49ers fan?
I am.
Of
I'm a
course.
huge Niners fan. Yep.
For the love of God, can you guys just bring an end to this Swifty nonsense? I've
What?
had it.
That's Kansas City. Oh, what nonsense are you talking about?
Like beat them?
End them. Beat them in the Super
Oh,
Bowl.
I want to be like she was not good luck this whole time.
It's never gonna end.
It's never.
This whole 13 nonsense.
She seems like a sweet, innocent person. I feel like she's a supervillain. Like she just keeps growing and growing and like you can't beat her. She's like the ultimate of like a video game that you can't beat, and she's so goddamn lovable. That's her superpower.
Love.
Yeah. Until she kills all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until she gets so goddamn rich and powerful, she just chops us all down.
Well, she just killed the NFL because apparently the Chiefs, prior to the Ravens-Chiefs game, they said that the NFL and the Chiefs had made $331 million additional dollars just from the Taylor Swift effect.
Could you imagine the Super Bowl? It's going to be double that.
Yeah, we already predicted. I already predicted that the Ravens would lose, and that's my team.
Wow.
And I said that Travis Kelce is going to propose at halftime, and now other people have stole my bit, and they're running with it.
I don't know if you said halftime, after the game.
No, I'm sorry, after the game. The Chiefs were going to win, and he was going to propose. But
what if Brock Purdy proposes to Taylor Swift? Plot twist.
Oh.
Who? What'd he say? I didn't hear it.
What'd he say?
That's a dumb bit. Let's cross my bit out. It just didn't.
Okay. I didn't hear it.
What was it, though? What was it?
Brock Purdy, Purdy proposes to Taylor Swift.
And she accepts.
Look, if I'm on the 49ers and I score a touchdown or I just lay out Travis Kelce, I'm figuring out where Taylor Swift is in the press boxes and I'm blowing her kisses.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a ring and I'm gonna take a girl in the same moment. Like Niners are there to win it, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, if I'm Brock Purdy, I'm writing a handwritten letter that is delivered to the Taylor Swift suite at the end of the game if the 49ers win that says, ditch the zero, come with the hero.
With the hero.
Super Bowl party in my house, girl.
I think they should send her out as a captain, right? For the coin toss. Just put a C on her, send her out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Let her call it. By the way, guys, I'm getting a suite there. It's only between $800,000 and $2 million. So GoFundMe, me and Alyssa Milano, we're trying to get a booth over there, a suite.
$2.5 million booth.
$2 million.
$2.5 million for that, and I'm like, literally all it is like gourmet food and open bar for $2.5 million.
And you could be like, the people there, they spend $1,600. They're right there. But us,
no, dude, the cheapest Super Bowl ticket is $10,000.
Yeah,
$2 million.
Yeah. $10,000 just to go to the Super Bowl. That's the going rate.
And you know the weather's going to be great, right? It's Vegas. Like, what's it going to do?
Dome,
even if it rains, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
it's a dome.
I just love that Kansas City Chiefs and Niners are playing on the Oakland Raider field. The rival teams, one of them's going to win a Super Bowl before they do on their own turf. It's great. No matter who wins.
Yeah, they said the Raiders fans are beside themselves.
Oh, yeah, Raider fans are pissed.
But this is the beauty.
Drive out there? You're close. Drive out to the Super Bowl?
I'd have to sneak in somehow. I can't afford. Was it at least 10,000?
You're not going to get in the stadium, but
all right. Look, manifest. Usher gets sick. He's in the manifestation. He's going to manifest. Usher gets sick. He's going to be standing outside the stadium.
They need a comedian.
The producer comes out and says, "Oh my God, Usher's sick. We need somebody to back up." He's just going to have to be walking by. Next thing you know, Robby Bobby. That's the name everybody's going to be talking about. Taylor who?
Stuff on Instagram. You want to do 10 minutes? I'm like, I'm game. Let's do this. And
we saw you. We heard you on the CBR podcast, and
like last Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes is going to be out like that punter was, watching the whole set. I got to see Robby Wagner do his thing, man.
It's like, hey, man, you need your own tour, and that's where that's my big break right there. Is the Super Bowl.
There it is.
Yeah.
So Robby, I would imagine in a lot of comedians' lives, there's a moment where someone tells them you're funny, you should do this, or they come do it on their own. Was there a moment like that for you? Like, was there? I shouldn't even elaborate.
Yeah, I mean, I was very fortunate. I came from all my friends were hilarious growing up. Like, they're funnier than me. My sister's probably the funniest person I know. I'm like, why didn't you do stand up? Why me? I just gravitated towards it, and growing up with my dad, we'd watch we're Jim Carrey fan, Dumb and Dumber, Chris Farley. I guess my dad was a huge influence on me without even realizing it. Like I was funny. I was just kind of naturally funny. But going into stand up sketch, there's kind of rules within those confines, but again, once you know the rules so well, you can break them. So I'm kind of going in and out. Like I could break the rules, but sometimes I have to stick to the rules. But no, I think I was just kind of naturally funny. I just kind of you kind of do these art forms to kind of catapult yourself into like being funnier, I guess. I don't know. Really a lot of observations and stuff. So yeah.
And
So
is that mostly like your writing style? Do you have a time? I hear some comedians have a time when they write every morning, every night, or do you just when you see something you make a note?
it's that. I usually if I see something or I'll I guess just writing stuff that happened, like Vegas that really happened. Just pulling from experience or, and that's a fun thing about stand up. Like I'm in my 30s now, so I could talk crap about my 20s. My 20s were just a hot ass mess. So I could talk about that or,
That's all of
and
us.
LA is so absurd. Hollywood is so absurd. It's so crazy. I have so much material just from LA itself. Um, but yeah, just observation and just writing. Yeah, I just write if something pops in my head or something happens, I write it right away. That's kind of how I do it. And I just write a lot, and then later on I edit. Just a lot of edits, and get up on stage, get up on its
You
feet.
know what? I bet you see more absurd stuff in LA than I see here. Because when I was in LA, I did see a lot of just, and people used to say Mercury's in retrograde. I'd never heard that
Oh,
before. Just some shit, right? Mercury's in retrograde. When something
that's
went wrong,
the
they would go, "Oh well, Mercury's in retrograde." Like that was the
now people
thing.
are really shitty right now in LA. Mercury's in retrograde. Like that's their excuse for everything in LA.
Oops, I
I'm like,
pooped on the
okay,
street. Mercury's in
retrograde.
retrograde. Sorry, what'd you say?
I got a girl pregnant. Mercury's in retrograde. Like,
Mercury's in retrograde. I defaulted on my credit card bill.
yeah.
Mercury's in retrograde.
That is such a way to say. That's
Write
freaking.
that one down.
That's
Write that one down.
like. I went to Vegas and I like lost all my money gambling and I lost a kidney in the black market. Mercury's in
I did
retrograde.
gay shit. Mercury's in retrograde.
Yeah, it's so
Oh, dude.
the absurdities
That's
of
funny.
LA is such a wacky place to live.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. Did you get to
Took
As
me
I
a
said,
while to
comedy? What?
Bill's got some great West Hollywood stories from his time out there.
Yeah, I met a lot of celebrities in weird ways, I would say. We'll
Oh,
tell those another day.
yeah.
Speaking of celebrities or famous figures, did you get to, were you after Mitzi at the Comedy Store?
No,
Mitzi
yeah,
Shore?
she passed away way before I started doing stuff at the Comedy Store. I mean, I've probably been starting to do stuff there this past year. So I just just keep showing up, keep getting cool with the producers. It's just a grind. Um, and getting in that circle. And I know what's his name? Nick Bergazzi, is that how you say his name?
Nate
Great,
Bargatze?
amazing. And I love what he said. He's like, if you're meeting, just be around a lot of stuff. Like that's just how it is. You learn a lot.
Yeah.
They'll be like, hey, you want to get on my show? Stage time is always important. So yeah,
That's
like
my
just
major regret. I lived out there for 4 years, and I went to the Comedy Store, and I met a bunch of people. And what I should have done was just go there every night, just
yeah,
5 nights a week, whatever. Not that I wanted to do comedy, but I was in like a talent agency. I could have anything could happen, right?
yeah, a lot of
But
writing.
you
Yeah.
ever think about getting a job as a doorman there?
I was thinking about it, man. That's I would be such an asshole. I'm like 37 now, and I'm like someone trying to tell me to clean like a toilet. I'd be like, I
Yeah,
don't think.
fuck off.
I'd,
Fuck that.
I don't. We'll see. Maybe. I mean, it does help. Like you get stage time, and you're in the industry there.
Yeah.
No, but the door guys there are really nice. I love it, and I just love the staff there. I've always had, I love the bartenders. Everyone's just there to have a good time. Like you feel like you're. I guess maybe because I'm a comedian, but I always feel like I'm part of that culture, that community. I really feel like I'm part of that community. But again, I love it. It's a great spot for me. I've had great experiences there. So
Yeah.
What is where's the place that when you finally perform there one day, you'll be like, you know what? This is a dream come true. What's that venue?
Need it.
I could do like a great spot on the main stage. So main stage is like that's their big room.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stuff in the original room and the belly room. They're like the smaller rooms, but the main room that's where the heavy hitters perform. I've seen Jay Farrow killed there once. I saw him just annihilate. Bill Burr. just so many greats I've seen on that stage. Like just David Spade. A lot of
Oh,
fun. A lot of fun
love
comics.
Spade. Burr,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I saw Robin Williams there for a fundraiser. Believe it or not, it was $50. I saw
Oh,
Robin Williams.
worth it.
Was
Oh my
it?
God, so worth it.
Incredible, yeah, incredible. Yeah, I've been to the Belly Room plenty of times. I saw Ari Shafir in the Belly Room. I saw. I feel like Dane Cook might have come into the Belly Room when he was. This is dating myself. He
Yeah.
wasn't quite Dane Cook yet, but I love the comedian. Oh, which leads to a great question, if I do say so myself. Have you ever been bumped by like a comedian that's a big name, or like at the Belly Room? Does that have at the Comedy Store? Does that go around the gossip? Oh, who could it even be? Chappelle was here, or even like when I was there, Eddie Griffin came to the Belly Room and he did material on George Bush, who was president at the time, kids. And he's smoking a cigarette and just the worst material. Have you seen like a good comedian come on and do? Now Eddie Griffin wasn't even trying, but have you seen a comedian bomb with like trying out material before that was like a legend, anything like that?
I'm trying to think. Like I've seen. I mean, it's funny because they're so experienced. It's like even in their worst, they're still pretty funny. But I know what you mean. It's like a lot of them are trying new material and they understand that, so they still get good spots, obviously because they're famous, like in the original room or Belly Room, especially the original room. I feel like that's a room a lot of comics do because it's a good spot. I think it's 130 people it seats, and it's just a good spot to try new material. But in the same token, it's a lot of people, so you get feedback immediately. Yeah, I mean, I've seen comedians. I mean, I can't say it on the top of my head, but I have seen comedians like they're just trying out new stuff, and it's fine because as the audience, you get it. You're like, oh, you usually killed. This is new stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, but as like the comedian that's just trying to come up and you're about to go on and like Dave Attell comes in like, yeah, I got to try this out. And he goes up for an hour and you don't get to go on. Like that's got to be infuriating, right?
yeah.
Like,
But if it's Dave Attell, I'm like, I'm gonna watch and
oh,
learn.
yeah, true. Bad
But I know
example.
what
Bad
you mean.
example.
I've had moments where it's like, yeah, you get bumped from like local, like LA comics. It was an open mic, and I just kept getting bumped. I was supposed to go on like 9, didn't go until like 11:30, and I was like, fuck. It does. It's like, and sometimes you just don't know when you're going to go up because you constantly get bumps.
Yeah,
Had those moments. It does suck, but
frustrating.
it's part of the game, And I think if I could give advice to comics out there, if you're just tired, just start your own mic. Like me and my friend found like a bar we love, and we're booking some like pretty big LA comics right now. Um, and we've only been doing it for a few months, but we're gaining some steam. Like we're becoming the new hit open mic / show to do. Because we're just we're supportive. They just come up here, have fun, bomb, but bomb with fun. So it's
Do you
just
feel like
creating.
Do you feel like Kill Tony's making the open mic a bigger thing than it was before?
I I don't know. I kind of I kind of watch Kill Tony stuff here and there. I think it's just a lot of these clubs are just probably these smaller clubs are just like, I'm tired of, again, like getting bumped from comedy clubs or, it's such a long wait list. Even for the Comedy Store, it's a giant wait list, or the Improv, giant wait list. Laugh
Yeah, I
Factory.
need a slotted. I like
And
that word.
well, I want to get
Slotted.
slotted.
Is your open mic slotted?
Yeah, our slotted mics are huge here. Regardless, you get guaranteed stage time, which I like,
Yeah.
Mine,
That's what we need to do, Murph. Murph and I have been talking about this, and you can judge who did better. Robbie, you're going to judge. We're going to do an open mic, and you can judge who did better. Guys, I got to admit something. I've been holding on to a pee. Holding on to a pee. All right? I got some great questions.
Well, let it go.
You wear your diapers?
You go do that because I want to ask Robbie about hecklers. Have you been heckled?
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god. When I first started doing comedy, I got heckled. I was at a park. This is why I don't do open mic in a park. I was doing open mic in a park, and there's a bunch of like baseball, like little league baseball games going on, and I was far enough where I was like, I could talk about like I was talking about the movie Teeth, which I had seen that day. Like I don't know if you've seen it. It's a movie about this teenage girl. She has teeth in her vagina. Like that's basically the bit of it. So I'm talking about it, and I'm just getting
I
heckled
think I
by
know her.
baseball dad, and all these kids are listening to it. And I was like, so new. I was so like, I just don't know what else to talk about. I kind of deserve this heckle. This baseball dad's like, talk about something else, something you like sandwiches. And I was like, oh, great fat joke. It's the name of the game, man. You just kind of take it, and that's why I say bombing's so much fun because it makes you so strong, like impervious sometimes. But you get like drunk people who just like talk, and you're like, gotta handle it. It's just the name of the game. Yeah, hecklers. I just don't panic. You just kind of sit back and you're like, what? Why are you heckling? Like, what's going on? Get to know them, ask a few questions.
Yeah, the whole concept of heckling, if you apply it to other things besides sports, is just truly bizarre. Because, like, imagine that you went, like, if heckling was that way for any type of performing art, and, like, so somebody's, like, doing a play, and then somebody just stands up and goes, "You suck!" You know? Like, it wouldn't
never
work.
Arts. I think
No. Or a painter's painting, and then somebody's just standing beside him like, that color's ugly.
Your stroke sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know. At first I was always kind of scared of hecklers, but now I'm like, I just embrace it. Like it may be funny. It's such like a in the moment type thing.
Yeah. Do you do crowd work on them? Do you like turn it on them, or do you just kind of ignore them and just keep plowing through?
I'm not a really big crowd work guy. I'll dabble in crowd work. Like if something happens in the audience, like I'll call it out because it's funny. But usually, no, like I'm a purist when it comes to stand up. I mean, maybe later on I'll be more crowd worky, but I'm definitely more of a. I love jokes. Like that's my thing. I just love going up there, telling my jokes. Maybe I'll have a conversation with someone who's just like, I don't know, just something that will come up and make me laugh in the moment. Yeah. I can call it out. So, like I did
impressions?
And it's not really crowd work.
Do you do any impressions?
Do I have questions?
No, impressions.
Oh, no. I'm not. You're like, this interview's done. No.
Questions. No questions? All right, goodbye.
Yeah.
Like, imagine, that's it. I imagine Frank Caliendo when he's trying to do a show. They're like, Madden, do John Madden.
Yeah. All right, look at this. It's a football game going on. This is my John Madden.
That's pretty good.
All right, we got X's and O's right. This X is gonna go around here and boom, touchdown. That's my John Madden. Killed it.
I believe it.
Yeah, Bill and I are supposed to have a impressions challenge here in the near future where maybe we can call you in on it if you want to practice. We'll tell you what the three people are going to be, and then we're going to spin a wheel.
I got to work on it. This is a good exercise. Just like practice, like next month, Robby, have these three characters down. That'd be that's a good challenge.
That's what we're going to do. We'll get Robby in on it too.
I figured out today I have an impression, but I forget who it was. I was doing it in the bathroom, and then I forget who the hell it was. This is why I haven't done it for the public yet. So I got a question for you, Robby. What would be a more... I forgot who it was. I forget things all the time now. Wait till you're my age.
It was a grown man holding the kid's dick. All right, sorry.
All right.
You just walked right into that one, dude.
Well, I mean, to be honest, he was just kind of displaying it. Like, how long does it need to be out before somebody's going to grab it eventually? All right. So I have a question for you, because this is an interview, that's why. What's more nerve-wracking, a comedy show where you need to do your own original material that people know you're prepared, or this show, the dude has writer's block, stand up off the cuff? Because I've heard of this before, and I find this fascinating where people just show up and they just make shit up in front of people. And I think that's maybe where the men from The Boys, right? Who's a comedian and who's pretending, who is ghostwriters, how was that show?
The ride, it was incredible. Again, like something I was terrified to do. You get prompts though. Like I remember, you'll get like, the first time you lost your virginity, and then maybe you talk about it. Or mine, it was so dark. They were just like racism. I was like, that's the first prompt you gave me is racism. Like what the hell, God? I was like, there's nothing fun about
What's the deal with
racism.
that?
Assholes really, and I just went in on them, and they were just dying of laughter. Or it could be any like tennis shoes. That was a writer's block. I think she still does it. Ashley Casanova is another amazing comedian here in LA. She's hilarious. That girl could go off the cuff like that. She's so good. I do think that's important. There's like improv mics where you go and you get prompts. So it'd be like your prom or Donald Trump, whatever prompt it is, and you just talk about it. And I think it really gets you out of your head. And it really teaches you, like, really, there's no wrong answers. Like, there's no wrong answers. Like, when I went, I felt like everything I was doing, nothing was wrong. And that's such a freeing moment to have. And I know Jim Carrey would do that a lot at the Comedy Store. He's like, I don't have anything. I'm just going to go up and whatever happens, happens. And I was like, damn, that is like, that's like, that's courage. That's
next level. Funny.
That's next level. So that's why he's always been like one of my favorite comedians ever. That guy's so tough and so many ways. So I don't know. It's freeing. At the end of the day, it's like, with stand up, embrace your fear. Just really embrace it.
Right. This is a lot about fear, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And loathing in Las Vegas. Well, I was hoping we could try some right now. Some dude has writer's block, stand up off the cuff, and Murph is on stage. Murph, why do you keep freezing? You okay? You having a fit?
Yeah. What? No. What? I don't. You guys are talking about this. I have no idea what the premise is for it. What do I got to do?
You're frozen in like a weird fit. Could you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. It's a dude has writer's block, stand up off the cuff. So people show up at comedy shows, the comedians. And basically the audience prompts them to riff without any, prior knowledge of what's going on the topic. So I thought we could put you on the spot right now. We could see if you're going to make it in stand-up. We could give you a topic and you could riff on it. What do you think?
Okay. And then are you going to do one and is Bobby going to do one?
No, just you.
Just you, man. No, this is your
fine.
breakup
All
moment.
right, go ahead.
No
Lay it on me.
Right, let's see how hard this is. Right, Robby, I'm hoping you can. Is there one that they use that night?
Well, one I was just thinking of
Racism.
Racism. Make it funny. No, I want to give you, just maybe something that you sort of relate to. I'll say like the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Super Bowl.
So I gotta just tell riff on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You're on stage. People are waiting for your jokes, Murph.
The jokes about the Super Bowl.
Isn't it hard?
Yeah,
this is what he had to do on stage.
Really hard. It just reminds me of the time so when the Ravens beat the Giants in the Super Bowl many moons ago. Yeah. So I was at a party and I just remember being there and they won and then everybody was absolutely obliterated. So we're celebrating, but we're just outside of the city. So the big thing was everybody, and I think Bill, you might have even been there. Everybody wanted to go into town to celebrate. Yeah, I think it was at your apartment. Now that I think about it.
01? No, we were at TJ's. 01. 2000?
Yeah. So everybody wanted to go down to downtown to celebrate and riot and get new sneakers and VCRs or whatever at the time. But this girl I dated did not want to do it, and I just remember being so upset that she didn't want to go down there. And it was one of those like you can do it, but you're not getting permission. You know what I mean? And like if you do it, you're going to be in trouble. And so I didn't go, and that is a big regret that I have. You know that look when they're awesome. Like, yeah, go ahead. Have a good time. Yeah, go.
You can go ahead.
Hey, I go to a riot. You're like,
yeah, I want it to riot.
So difficult. Why would you do this to me?
Yeah. I'm just going to burn couches.
I think you didn't
go?
I mean,
No, I could have got her new clothes. I could have got her some new sneakers, some jewelry, you know,
It was so
ski
fun.
masks.
Oh, and you
I
would have been
didn't go.
the whole time.
Yeah, I would have been drunk and rioting and having a good time.
You know
Celebrating
what?
our first
This was a
Super Bowl.
night that renewed my faith in humanity. Everybody was just high-fiving. Like, high fives were the thing of the night, you know? Criminals high-fiving cops, women topless driving by out of top of sunroofs. The orgy was amazing. No, there wasn't an orgy. But it was a lot of fun, Murph.
Dogs and cats living together.
Where's Baltimore?
Living together.
Baltimore, wild town. What happens in San Francisco if they win? If the 49ers win, what's going to happen?
No, they probably just drink wine.
Glitter and
I'm
rainbows.
from Oakland originally. I'm from Oakland, so it's weird to be like
Okay.
a fan. And
Okay. You're close to-
all my family, you know, all of my Mexican side of the family, all diehard Raider fans. But me and my dad were like the only two Niner fans in our family. No, I guess Niner fans, they would just like sip wine. They're such a quiet city. It's a cool. I guess it's kind of cool. I just always been a Niner
Except
fan.
for the street shitters.
Yeah,
What is this thing about like
Oakland goes wild.
Oh.
Like when the Warriors won. I mean, when the first championship they won, I went to my job drunk. I used to work at UPS. I was like, woo, yeah.
Woo,
And then
I'm
it started
driving
wearing
around.
off. No, it was awful, but it was fun. I
Woo.
mean, Dub Nation, man, got our first. Well, technically our third championship, but you know, first in our new era. It was good times.
Yeah, Sixers are going to get there one of these days.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. In Philly, have you heard of Grease the Poles? I love this whole phenomenon. Have you heard of that?
I have but refresh my memory.
So when we're about to win,
bad joke.
when we're about to win, there's like a decree that I would imagine like the Public Works office, they have a meeting and they go, all right, we're in the championship game. Go out there and grease the poles. And what they do is, this is real, they put Crisco on the poles so that nobody can climb to the top of any pole. Meanwhile, we get there anyway, not me, but you just get a friend, you stand on his shoulders, you get up, you beat that challenge. But so that's a real thing. Like the Phillies are about to win, go out there and Crisco the poles. Isn't that ridiculous?
That's hilarious. I don't think they do that in the Bay or even in
Well,
LA.
if they did, what do you think San Francisco would put on the poles? I thought it might be like escargot or something.
Yeah, charcuterie, escargot, like chickens, so they won't spill their wine.
Why does this pole have salami on it?
Is this brie cheese on this pole? Hell yeah!
It's warm brie. It's a warm brie.
Or brie.
There's a quiche all over this pole.
Grease the poles. I like that.
Yeah.
And I know Phil, when you guys riot, when you guys win, you guys win. So I can imagine you're like, we accept this challenge. And you just like,
It's so few and far between. You know, we're like, did this really? All right, let's
you're
go.
like, let's do it. Got a
This
challenge.
is the last chance you're going to get free shit.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, the only time I've been out in the city when somebody won was in Baltimore, and it was a fuck. Oh, sorry, Murph. Sorry about that. It wasn't a good
I
time at
didn't
all.
get to go. I didn't get to go.
At least you're still together with that girl.
Dad.
No, I'm not still together with that girl.
Oh, well, Jesus.
2000. It was the 2000.
At least you're still friends.
No, we're not friends. You know what? You know that one ended. You know how that one ended. She punched me in the face.
Oh, okay.
Punched me in the face because I told her that I had got a new apartment. I was moving out, and she said, "No, I'm moving out." And I said, "No." And then there were some choice words exchanged, and she punched me right in the ear. Right in the ear while I was leaving a voicemail on my new roommate's phone, telling him like, "Hey, dude, you might be able to move in a little earlier than we thought." Bam! Right in the side of that.
What do you say when you get punched in the ear?
You said, you know what I said?
By a woman.
I said, "Did you just punch me?" Which is a dumb question to ask when you've been punched and you know you've been punched. Like,
I
what
would
do you
give you a
expect them to
combo.
say? Like, no, I didn't punch you. There was a hornet on the side of your face. I just
Yeah.
saved your life.
I
No,
thought I
I
could help
punched.
your hearing by just giving you one time to the ear.
Oh boy.
All right.
Yeah.
I have questions for our guests, if that's
All
okay.
right. Yeah. Go ahead, Bill. Stop
Robbie,
talking
by
to
the
me.
way, you good? You got time? You got time.
At all time in the world.
Let's see. We're
Don't.
not even
Don't
now yet.
ask.
All right. I saw a quote on your Instagram. By the way, what was it like first making out with Shrek? Was that wild? Did he smell?
He smelled really bad, but I was
Like a
drunk.
swamp.
I was a little tipsy. Things
Was it
went.
late? Like, was it late at night at the swamp where like nobody was around and it was just
We were
Shrek
at
and maybe
the local
another?
bar. I was like, "Holy shit, that's Shrek! He's famous." He just went up, and then we had a conversation. He started
Once
whispering
again.
here, and we started making out at the bar. Took it back to my girlfriend's house. Started making out with my girlfriend. She was asleep, so we started making out.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
"Don't tell my girlfriend; she'll get mad." And
Yeah.
I can't say what else happened. It's
Seems
secret.
like
I don't want to
Donkey
get
likes to watch.
in trouble.
Let Donkey watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
How
He's
does
got a
one
big
get a filter?
Say that. He's got a big donkey. Let's just say that, guys.
How does one get a filter that allows them to make out with Shrek? Where did you find that?
TikTok? I think it was TikTok.
All the kids
I
are doing
believed it.
it.
You guys were passionate.
I don't even know what you're talking about, so you're gonna have to add that in.
So that's going to be in the video. And video
so
is
lost.
not
Thing.
Murph is so
You
lost.
guys can't take away. You can't take away the last 30 seconds where I'm picturing Robbie and some guy in a Shrek costume going back to his apartment while his girlfriend's asleep.
No, it wasn't. It was Shrek. It was actually Shrek.
One
It's
word,
like,
2 words.
what is going on?
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
All right. So we'll just pretend like none of that just happened. All right, Robbie. I saw a quote on your Instagram from George Carlin. Political correctness is fascism pretending to be manners.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the whole climate of comedy now? Do you feel like you're constantly asked to be politically correct, or how do you feel about it?
Especially there are times, especially in LA. Damn, that's a good question. I would say you just like I think George Carlin was so punk rock in what he did. He just didn't hold back. He's like, this is me. I'm going to say whatever, political, religion, race, whatever have you. I feel like, sometimes there shouldn't be a filter on comedy. You really have to let loose. You really have to say what's on your mind. And I get, I've talked to comedian friends about this. Like, where is the line? Where's the line drawn? I think when you're going up there with like flat out hate speech or racism, homophobia, just jokes that it's basically hate speech. I don't think that's cool. But in, the same token, I think a comedian's job is to twist it to where it is, something that's so dark is so funny. So that's why, again, I'm a huge George Carlin fan. This guy could just current events that are so relevant and so damn funny. Like, he just turned darkness into light. I think that's a job of a comedian. So
yeah, if it's funny, it helps, right?
Yeah.
I feel like comedians have a way of making the problems of the world a little bit more digestible for us, because so many people will focus on the sad or the anger, but if you put a little comedy in there, you can kind of see, maybe there is a better way to deal with this.
Yeah.
Or at least easier to reason with, or maybe to see somebody else's side. I mean, that's the beauty of comedy. You kind of sprinkle it on things that makes it a little bit more digestible.
Yeah. I mean, people go to the comedy club because they want to laugh. They want to escape. Like, they want someone to relate to at the end of the day, And that's why I pull from my experience, my life. I think that George Carlin was a master of that, talking about, politics and war and what the country is going into, this direction we're going into. And he was so smart with his comedy. And I think that's another thing. As silly as you could get, always be smart with your silly. I think that's kind of how I attack it as well. You could just be up there and be a big weirdo, but be smart about it. Be sort of calculative about it. Be strategic about it. And that's how you really find your voice. Don't ever hold back. like obviously you don't say hate speech, but you know, you go up there and just like go for it. Like where else can you do that other than an open mic? You know, where you learn that stuff.
Yeah, I definitely felt like the more we become too serious about offending people, the more politically correct we become, the more important it came be. I realize that comedians are super important because you're basically the only people saying anything against, you know, all this politically correct stuff. And you're right, hate speech is bad, but I think comedians are super important in that way that they, you know, I guess what I'm saying is I realized comedians were more important than I even ever thought when all this happened, where it's just feeling like everybody's coming down on us. I feel like, thank God we have comedians to say what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah,
And it's, yeah.
they say things out loud that other people might be too afraid to say,
It's
which is
important. It really
yeah.
Dude,
is.
that is the beauty of comedy too, of the freedom, and like with people like Chappelle and George Carlin and other comedians, just how free it must feel to be able to get up there and just say things, you know, that sometimes need to be said, sometimes that, you know, kind of force an issue or like I said, like make it more digestible for people. Just that's got to be so empowering, you know. It's just got to be, you know. That's why I applaud you, man, to get up there on stage and to do your bit and to say the things that you say. Like, hats off to you. It takes a lot of bravery, a lot of courage, and it's got to be free. You got to feel free and feel a little bit different than everybody else who holds it all in. You know, you get to kind of release it. So
Yeah, you got to stick to your guns too. You got to, you know, and I'm still, sometimes I get in my head about my jokes, but I'm like, go up there because whatever you feel like your least funniest joke is probably your best joke. And going up there, and like I said, I'm like, I don't let anyone steal my fun. Like, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to act like an ass or say this joke that probably didn't hit, but God damn it, no one's going to take my fun. And look at Chappelle, look at Robin Williams. They never let anyone take away their fire or take away their fun, take away their opinion, you know. And that's another thing. It's like we live in America. We have an opinion. You could go up there and, you know, that's the thing. That's a lot what comedians get flack for because we do have strong opinion. You know, a lot of people aren't going to agree with that. So that's why there's always, you know, tension. But that's comedy. Comedy is tension. It's tension and release. That's comedy for me too.
I think that's what Bill calls Friday night.
Tension release. Sunday morning.
You need a tissue?
Sunday morning.
Just use
Oh,
a sock,
man.
Bill. All right, I hate to end this interview because this has been I literally feel like I could talk to you and
Wait,
you know
I have one more thing, and then you can end it.
yeah, Robbie's probably like, God, thank God it's over. But I feel like we could go on for like another hour plus strong just talking about comedy, man.
Dude, I can talk
Well,
about
I'm
comedy.
thinking about going to
I love it. You guys
Disney,
are
and I want to know what his experience at Disney was like. I'm going to Disney World, maybe, but how was Disneyland? You got any crazy stories? And then we'll wrap this bad boy up.
Disneyland? Any crazy stories?
Didn't you go to Disney?
Yeah, I'm wearing a Disney shirt right now.
I'm stalking you.
Get in line.
I'm outside your window.
All right, now you're really creeping me out. Stories.
Nothing crazy?
Nothing crazy. I mean, just annoying, like long lines, sunburns, shitty kids. Man, nothing crazy. Just like, you know, kids throw tantrums.
Nobody pooping in
I
line?
haven't got drunk at Disneyland yet. No, I haven't made an ass of myself. Really, that's where the stories come from. It's just me getting drunk, doing something, you know, making an ass of myself somewhere.
Someday.
Yeah, Disneyland, man. No, not really. I have more stories from Vegas, but
All right.
yeah.
But yeah, it has been super fun. I hope we talk again, right?
This has been a blast.
Go ahead, end it elegantly.
Yeah.
All right, Robbie, thanks for coming on the show. Give us those last closing plugs of all your upcoming shows and things you want our listeners to hear and your listeners to hear as well, where they can find you, and then sign us out.
Yeah, find me usually on my Instagram, RobbyBobby32 Comedy. I run, you know, the after school special mic in Los Feliz at a bar called The Roost. We're booking some big LA comics in these upcoming months. Again, I produce it with my good friend Kevin Heisinger, very funny comedian as well. Yeah, I do stuff. The Best Comedy Club Near Me Theater, another great spot to check out in LA. You can see me at the Comedy Store from time to time. Yeah, you can just see me all over LA. You know, if you like what you see, hit me up. I'll let you know like any upcoming shows. But that's all I have for now.
All right, guys, make sure you check out Robby Wagner if you're out on the West Coast. All right, Robby, thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you so much, guys. You guys have been great.
Awesome.
And we're out.
All right.
Robby, great. It was great.
Dude, that was
we were
fun.
so pumped to just be talking to a comedian. You know?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Hope
fun.
you had a good time.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I
so
used
like,
to, good.
I was gonna say, any like if you want, like, send us when you're doing stuff. Just send me a message if you got bits you want us to share. Just send them, and we'll put them out. That's the whole point of like why me and Bill. This all started out as a craft beer thing. I don't drink anymore.
Hey, craft beer. He doesn't even drink anymore.
No, it was a long. Yeah. Anyways, that's
We
a long.
both
That's a
had
story.
major. Beer
Yeah.
was not good. That much beer is never good.
Oh,
Yeah, so all this started out. I read an article. We probably should have talked about this, but I read an article that said if you take pictures of things you like on Instagram, people will send you that for free. And I was like, I love beer, so I started taking pictures of craft beer. And this is like 2014 maybe, and within like 6 months, I had breweries sending me beer, and then it kind of like started to snowball from there. But drinking beer, as fun as it is, becomes like a job when you got to always take a picture and always. Anyways, long story short, Bill and I went to college together, and then we just kind of we tried to keep the craft beer thing going, but it was just too. It's just like one top. You're only talking about one thing.
Too much drinking, to be
Yeah,
honest.
too much.
well, you're like my liver was failing. No, I
I was too
that's
old for that shit.
and I
I'm
love
on
that
the
it
transplant list. It's fine.
your podcast organically turned into this. And I saw you got a lot of followers, which is awesome. So I think you guys are smart about this. It's like, yeah, beer's cool, but you're like, try something else, and that's a fun part about podcasts. It organically changes.
Yeah, we used to take ourselves. I don't know if we take ourselves too serious, but like at some point, I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do what I like." And Bill and I have very similar likes, so we're just like, I like music. Bill likes music. We love comedy. We'll put together like our skits aren't that great, but we'll put together skits. Bill's skits are really good. Mine kind of suck.
Oh, stop.
But
Oh,
we're just
stop.
having fun, and we're just hoping that in having fun and helping people out that are trying to do the similar thing, like do their passion and do it well, and they're actually like genuine and good people. Like we're just help them and share their stuff and just see where it goes. And if it goes nowhere and we just helped a bunch of people, then that's not that bad.
Dude, that's awesome, and I appreciate you guys promoting me and just having fun. I mean, I could talk comedy all day. Also love music. I love a lot of things. But that's so funny you say that about beer. Like my friend used to work at a brewery, and he's like, he was like, dude,
Yeah,
it's like
it becomes a
like,
thing.
you
I
want
drank.
12 pack. I'm like, okay, free beer. But
COVID accelerated my drinking, man. My drinking during COVID was just out of control, And we'd love to have you back. Like Murph and I have been talking about stand up, but I didn't know about slotted open mics because here's what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to go to an open mic night and not get to perform. It's 2 a.m. I got work tomorrow.
Yeah.
But Murph, I think we need to do a slotted open mic night. Maybe record our performances.
that's
No?
a big.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude,
So
I feel like that's it.
Robby, where do you live?
I
West Hollywood?
live in Glendale, Silver Lake area.
All right. I was Fountain and Fairfax, right there in West Hollywood.
I work in West Hollywood, so
Yeah.
I my drive.
By the
Sunset,
Tomcat Theater. I don't know if the Tomcat Theater is still there. But yeah, we went up to the Comedy Store. I saw Robby Williams in the main room. I saw what else did I see? Anyway. Joe Rogan was outside. I talked to Joe Rogan. I almost backed over Pauly Shore. Like, it's so fucking fun out there. I met celebrities, all that shit.
I see like Mark Maron, who I like idolize. I'm like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
that was my first thing. Belly room. I'm like, I'm performing the same time fucking Mark Maron's on stage. Like it's so
Right?
like blindly crazy. It's so much fun.
I met George Clinton at a Virginia rest stop one time. Not in the rest room, at the rest stop.
Parliament Funkadelic, George Clinton.
George
came
Clinton.
off.
He asked me for directions.
Oh,
Was he in
oh.
like the PCU? Was he in a bus like gutter on PCU? You ever see
No, he
PCU?
pulled up in some shitty ass car. That's why I just thought it was a guy pretending to be George Clinton, but it was fucking George Clinton. He handed me his
Really?
Nextel, blue and silver.
I got asked one time. I was at Cabo Cantina, which is probably not there anymore, up on Sunset, and Andre 3000 stopped to ask for directions. It's like, what a weird interaction.
Oh,
Here's the
dude,
question: do celebrities just not like? Do they not know how to use Google Maps?
They're just
'Cause
like
Dominic
us.
Dominic West came into Holy for Holies, which is like a little bar in Baltimore, and asked my wife for directions, but she knew I was a big Wire fan, so she was like,
The
"Oh, you got to
Wire.
ask my husband." Yeah, McNulty from The Wire.
McNulty.
Yeah,
I just finished The Wire. Like binge watched the shit out of it. Fucking amazing show.
Yeah.
dude. It's
What was
good.
what seasons did you not like?
It's not that I didn't like them, but the
schools?
ones with the shipping container, that was okay.
Yeah. Second season.
I think the first season, the first two seasons, and the season with the kids, like those 3 seasons were like good. I like the way it ended.
Yeah.
It was really cool too. I think it had a cool ending.
Yeah.
Just the way Omar died, though, I was like, I like lost my shit. So crazy.
True story. Snoop
Oh,
actually
kid
lived
shot
a
him.
couple.
Yeah, right.
Snoop used to live a couple streets up
Yeah.
from my firehouse, and we would go
No
to her
way.
house. Yeah, some guy got shot one time and ran into her house, and none of this can go on the air. But she got into a car accident, had a hot ass girlfriend one time. But yeah, we would see her around quite a bit. But I think she's in jail now. So
She was awesome. She's in jail when she bought that nail gun.
well, she's in jail
That was the
for I
best.
think tax evasion.
Okay, not
Capone.
murder and putting them in empty houses. I think they should try the open air drug market. That's just my feeling about it.
It's pretty much an open air drug market here. Oakland, I heard is
Alright.
bad too, right? Anyways, all right, I gotta go because my daughter's getting back from a ski trip.
All right, Robbie, thank you so much, man. We'll be in touch. We'll on Instagram. We'll send you a little note whenever we post something from this, which will be probably tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah, let me know. Yeah, man, it's been great. You guys ever want to have me back? We chop comedy all day. I love talking about it. So
Hell
thank
yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I'll let you know when we're gonna do this impression bit. If you want to do bits with us and stuff, if you think of something you need people to do bits with you, let us know. We're up for it. We're always
here.
up for it.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, dude.
All
Have a
right,
good night.
buddy. I'll see you.